Most people think passive income is the finish line. Make enough money while you sleep and you've escaped the system. No boss, no stress, no trading time for money. That's the dream. And because of that dream, thousands of people are spending their 20s trying to build passive income streams before they've even built actual income. They buy courses, start dropshipping stores, launch faceless YouTube channels, buy dividend stocks with tiny accounts, try affiliate marketing, crypto staking, rental properties with debt, all chasing the same thing. I just want money coming in automatically. But there's a hidden cost to chasing passive income too early, and most people don't realize it until years later, because sometimes the obsession with passive income is exactly what keeps people broke. My name is Zaki, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people stay financially stuck even when they're trying to improve their money situation. If you're someone who constantly feels like you're chasing financial freedom but never actually getting closer to it, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out, because this passive income obsession is quietly damaging a lot of people financially and psychologically. A few years ago, there was a guy named Daniel. Daniel worked a normal office job, nothing glamorous, just enough to pay rent, eat out on weekends, and occasionally convince himself he was doing okay. But every morning on social media, he saw people talking about freedom, make money while you sleep, escape the 9-to-5, build multiple income streams, retire early. And slowly, his job started feeling less like stability and more like failure. That's the first psychological trap. The internet made active income feel embarrassing. If you still work for money, it feels like you're behind. So Daniel became obsessed with passive income. Not wealth, not skills, not career growth. Passive income specifically. And that distinction matters more than people think, because once he got obsessed with the idea of making money automatically, he stopped asking a more important question: what's actually the highest value thing I could be building right now? Instead, every decision became filtered through one idea: can this eventually become passive? So he stopped focusing at work, stopped learning useful skills, stopped trying to increase his salary. Why? Because salaries felt limited, too ordinary, too slow. Instead, he spent nights building side hustles that made almost nothing: a print-on-demand store that earned $13, a blog no one read, a dividend portfolio generating $7 per month, a YouTube channel abandoned after 6 uploads. And technically, all of them were passive income, just not meaningful income. That's the thing nobody tells you. Tiny passive income often costs massive active effort, and for most beginners, the math is terrible. Imagine someone spends 2 years trying to build 5 small passive income streams. After all that effort, maybe they finally earn $500 a month. Sounds good on paper. Except during those same 2 years, another person focused entirely on building a high-income skill: sales, programming, marketing, editing, design, copywriting, running a business. Now they're making an extra $4,000 per month actively. And here's the uncomfortable truth: the second person is usually much closer to real freedom, because high active income creates options. Tiny passive income usually creates illusions. People love the idea of earning money without working, but they underestimate how powerful it is to become extremely valuable first, because wealth is rarely passive in the beginning. Almost every wealthy person had a phase where they worked intensely, not because they failed, because leverage comes later. And this is where people misunderstand the stories they see online. They see someone making money from investments, businesses, or content libraries today, but ignore the decade of active work it took to build those assets. They see the passive outcome without seeing the active foundation. It's like watching someone coast downhill on a bicycle and assuming the hill climbed itself. There's another psychological reason people chase passive income too early. It feels emotionally safer than mastering something difficult. Think about it. Building a real career requires exposure. You can fail publicly, get rejected, look inexperienced, compete with talented people, spend years improving. That's uncomfortable. But passive income ideas feel easier emotionally. You can fantasize about them forever. A rental property feels simpler than becoming elite at a skill. Buying dividend stocks feels easier than building a business. Starting 10 side hustles feels productive, even when none of them work, because motion and progress are not the same thing. And the brain loves confusing the two. This is why so many people stay busy for years without becoming financially stronger. They optimize for the feeling of entrepreneurship instead of actual economic value. And the internet rewards this behavior constantly. Someone posts 7 passive income streams everyone needs, not because it's wise, because it gets clicks. Nobody wants to hear, spend 5 years becoming extremely good at one thing. That advice sounds boring. But boring advice is often what works. Here's a strange paradox about money. The people most desperate for passive income are usually the people who need active income the most. Because if you barely earn enough already, splitting your attention into 6 weak income streams can slow your growth dramatically. There's a concept in finance called opportunity cost, which basically means when you choose one thing, you also give up another thing. And most people never calculate the hidden opportunity cost of chasing passive income too early. Imagine you spend 3 years obsessing over tiny side hustles. What did that cost you? Maybe you never became exceptional at your main skill. You delayed promotions. You never built professional relationships. You avoided harder opportunities. You spread your energy too thin. You stayed financially fragile longer. The scary part is, those losses are invisible. You can see the $200 your side hustle made. You cannot easily see the $200,000 career growth you delayed, and humans are terrible at seeing invisible losses. That's why casinos make money. That's why subscriptions quietly drain accounts. And that's why passive income fantasies can become expensive distractions. Now, obviously, passive income itself is not bad. In fact, eventually, it becomes extremely important. The problem is timing. People try to automate wealth before they know how to create value consistently. That's like trying to install autopilot on a car with no engine. Passive income works best when it sits on top of strong foundations, not instead of them. Think about someone who writes a successful book. The royalties become passive later, but writing the book was active. Or a YouTuber earning ad revenue from old videos, passive now, but years of active work came first. Or an investor earning dividends from a large portfolio, passive today, but that portfolio was funded by years of earning, saving, and discipline. This is the pattern most people ignore. Real passive income is usually delayed active income. You work intensely now, so the asset keeps paying later. But social media compresses the timeline. It makes people think the passive phase arrives immediately. It rarely does. There's another hidden danger here. When people become obsessed with passive income, they sometimes start rejecting all forms of effort, and that mindset quietly destroys ambition. You'll hear things like, "I don't want to trade time for money." But at the beginning of life, that's exactly what almost everyone does. Doctors do it, lawyers do it, engineers do it, business owners do it, athletes do it. Even entrepreneurs trade enormous amounts of time up front. The goal is not to avoid effort forever. The goal is to make your effort increasingly valuable. That's different. A person earning $25 an hour and a person earning $500 an hour are both trading time for money, but one developed rare value first, and that rare value eventually creates leverage. Leverage is what produces scalable income, not wishful thinking. This is why skill acquisition is one of the highest return investments most young people can make, because skills compound. The better you become, the more you can earn, the more you can invest, the better opportunities you attract, the stronger your network becomes, the easier future businesses become. But chasing passive income too early often interrupts this compounding process. People keep restarting instead of deepening. New side hustle, new strategy, new trend, new shortcut, always beginning, never mastering. And honestly, the hardest part is that passive income content sells hope incredibly well. It promises freedom without requiring identity transformation. But real wealth usually changes who you are before it changes your bank account. You become more disciplined, more patient, more skilled, more resilient, better at solving problems, better at dealing with uncertainty. That internal growth matters, because money tends to amplify who you already are, and people who chase shortcuts too aggressively often build weak financial foundations underneath temporary wins. That's why some people make money fast, then lose it just as fast. No systems, no judgment, no real capability underneath it, just momentum and luck. So what should people actually do instead? Especially if they're young and ambitious, focus first on increasing your ability to produce value. That sounds simple because it is simple. Not easy, but simple. Before obsessing over passive income streams, Ask what skill would dramatically increase my earning power over the next 5 years. Then go deep, not wide, deep, because depth creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. A great video editor earns more than someone mediocre at 5 random side hustles. A strong marketer has more leverage than someone earning $42 from 6 affiliate links. An exceptional salesperson can build capital faster than most beginner investors, and capital matters because money itself becomes a tool later. Once you have strong cash flow, then passive investments become powerful. Then investing makes sense. Then buying assets matters more. Then automation becomes easier because now you actually have fuel to work with. There's a reason wealthy people often say your first investment should be yourself, not because it sounds motivational, because economically, it's usually true. If reading, learning, networking, building skills, or improving your output can double your income, that return destroys almost every beginner passive income strategy, especially early on. And yet, most people reverse the order. They try to improve the speed of a weak engine instead of building a stronger engine first.
The irony is this: the people who become financially free fastest are often not the people chasing passive income immediately. They're the people who become extremely useful first. Then later, they convert that usefulness into assets. That's the sequence. Skill first, leverage second, passive income third, not the other way around. Because passive income is not magic. It's usually stored effort, stored value, stored usefulness. And if there's no real value underneath it, there's nothing meaningful to compound. So if you feel behind because you don't have passive income yet, don't panic. A lot of people showing off multiple income streams are earning less than someone quietly mastering one valuable skill. And sometimes, the smartest financial move is not creating another side hustle. Sometimes, it's becoming undeniable at something. Because the hidden cost of chasing passive income too early is that you can accidentally avoid the exact work that would have made you wealthy later. And by the time many people realize that, they've spent years building income streams instead of building themselves. If this video helped you think about money in a way, please subscribe to see more videos like this one. Please comment below, what is one idea about money that you thought was true for a long time, but it turned out to be totally wrong? I read every comment that people leave. To be honest, the conversations that we have are usually more helpful than a lot of the money-making ideas that you find on the internet. Money ideas like these are often called income hacks, but I think our conversations are more valuable.